all of that before we get photography even scheduled.
Very good. It just crossed my mind. In California, we don't need an attorney unless you're dealing with probates or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in some other states, every transaction has an attorney. What's the deal with you guys?
We do not. If an attorney's involved, you don't want to be involved in that transaction, honestly. I mean, I did have a probate sale as one of the earliest sales of my career, and that was a disaster. Not a disaster. I mean, I shouldn't say a disaster. It just took forever. The person that sold was in a protected class. His brother was the signer of the property, and it was a probate sale. So there were a lot of factors, and so lawyers were involved with that one, but that was really the only one that I've ever had lawyers involved, because like you said, I don't think Kansas or Missouri, from my history there, lawyers are involved, but some states a lawyer has to sign off on it. So it's a very different state by state for sure.
What's the normal length of an escrow?
What is normal? That's
well, this year nothing is normal. So.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, about 40 days is about what we're looking like now. It can be a wide range. I mean, I've had as quick as about a week to 10 days for a cash buyer. But yeah, for the most part, and I've like the probate sale I was just talking about, that one literally took, I believe, 9 or 10 months to close. So it was like the forever pending home. And I got so many, it was on a very busy street in the Reno area. And I got so many sign calls. So it was a nice marketing tool to keep my phone ringing. But my Lord, I was like, nope, we're under escrow. Would you like to possibly look at another home? No. Okay, thanks. Bye. It was like never ended.
I've been involved in a couple of probates. They haven't taken that long. One took 30 days. The other one took 2 months. That was the longest.
2 months. That's nothing. But the only difference is in California, like our listing contract is 4 pages. I heard in California, it's like 706 pages or something silly.
And we're going to add one more right now, just right. Because.
Add a COVID form to it. Let's go.
And, oh, yeah.
I've heard repeatedly California is crazy with forms.
Yeah. Just because there is a form. Why not? Let's put it on a form and let's all protect ourselves, which makes it kind of crazy. Clients who say, oh, last time I bought a house, I signed 4 pages. And I'm like, well, let me tell you.
Yeah, this isn't the last time.
It's going to take a little bit longer this time. Okay, tell me, which is the most memorable transaction of your career?
Oh boy, the most memorable was probably one where I've never met the client. That was a memorable one where it was a California buyer. We have a lot of that here, by the way. A lot of Northern California folks are moving to Reno in droves. I just talked to one today who was moving from Mountain View, I believe. So yeah, we have Northern Californians constantly, and he was wanting to buy as quickly as possible, all cash, and he needed to close within like 3 weeks. And I just started talking to him like the day he's telling me this, and I'm like, okay, why do you want to close so fast? For tax reasons. I'm like, and I'm no tax attorney. I don't even get involved in that. If somebody has a tax question regarding their real estate, I refer them to a tax attorney who can actually help them, because that's not what I do. But for some reason, he needed to buy it for tax reasons. I was like, okay. So he wanted to close by whatever date. So we went and looked at 3 homes over the course of 2 days. And he had a local friend, luckily, that lived here, and would meet me at the houses, and then we would FaceTime tour with the actual guy that was buying it. So I saw him, but I've still never met him. But he ended up closing about 10 days after we decided on that second day's tour, the 3rd home. He made an offer, ended up buying. His friend is the one who came to all inspections. And it was honestly the scariest closing of my career, because I was like, what if he doesn't like this house? Because that was never part of the contract. Because normally, when that happens, you put in a clause that says, this is all subject to in-person inspection by the buyer. We didn't even have that. He was like, no, just do it. I was like, okay. And it was like this. It was the strangest thing. Never met him, but he's happy in the house. He probably lives a mile from me, but I've been to this house a couple times. He's never home. So it's like a mystery transaction, because I've never met this person, but we closed. I don't know.
But we know he saved a lot of money in tax.
Yes, apparently. Yes.
Gotta hurry up.
Yeah, he needed it like it was, candy. I don't know. It was weird, but never met him.
One day you're going to have to just go and, I won't say stalk, but say, I just want to see what you look like in person.
Yeah. It's still the strangest deal, and I have been called by him since. Actually, I should say I've been called by the local friend that now lives there as like a roommate. He said, "Yeah, Dan wants to maybe look at some land." I'm like, "Okay, great." So,
Is he
I,
coming?
yeah, yeah. Well, I'll just probably have him drive by because since it's land, but so I probably still never meet him.
What is the most valuable skill that a real advisor should have?
Oh, most valuable skill. That's a long list. I would maybe say patience is near the top, which I'm not real good at, and kind of adaptability to any situation because so many clients that we deal with are so different with personalities, with their tastes and all that. You have to kind of be able to not only get along with any type of person, but kind of connect with any type of person. And so having that skill or that ability certainly helps. And then, kind of you have to have a little bit of go at your own pace, meaning you basically own your own business as a real estate agent. So you have to be able to, hustle when you can because you're not going to get a paycheck every 2 weeks like a normal job. So, and I was a financial advisor back in my 20s, and I did not have that then. Like if I was working at home and the TV was on, I would just watch TV all day. And now that I've got kids and a family, it's a totally different situation, and working from home is not a problem at all. But you kind of have to have that self-discipline and drive to get things done since you're kind of on your own.
Yeah, and then you have a lot of distractions, not just to call them distractions, but they are still a priority in your life. Talking from the perspective of a mother, you have your kids next to you and they have to learn like, okay, mommy needs to do this, daddy needs to do this, but we still love you and we're going to be there with you 100% when we're actually with you. We're totally engaged.
Yeah.
I so did you.
Well, and it's funny that you bringing that up it just reminds me how thankful my wife and I are that COVID happened when our kids were still in daycare instead of in school. Because you and I both know a ton of agents who have about lost their minds with at-home schooling. In addition to, yes, as you raise your hand,
one of them.
Yeah, in addition to, I mean, it's virtually impossible to try to continue your real estate career while you've got kids that you're supposed to be teaching as well. I couldn't even imagine.
Sometimes people ask, how do you do this? I'm like, I don't really have a how. I think if I stop and I start thinking about what I'm supposed to do on the how perspective, on the way, I will just sit and not move.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, yes, follow your schedule, let's stick to it and try to be consistent and just keep pushing. So at the end of the day, you're like, I achieved so much today. Yes, we all cry along COVID. We all did all of that. We all said, hey, call a girlfriend. Could you come and help me with math or
Yeah.
I mean, so many things that we all had to learn to do so we could come out at the end of this dark tunnel now that most people are vaccinated.
Yeah. And the weird part is on the other side of that, my kids' daycare never once closed for one day during the whole thing. So they've been going every day without a problem, without a case of COVID. It's the strangest deal, but I feel for those parents who had to basically be teacher and be professional. I don't know how anybody did it, but we got lucky because our kids were before school. So that worked out.
Yeah, it's been interesting hearing everybody's perspective from parents who have littles, daycare age, preschool, elementary, middle school, high school. I think those kids don't want to call it the worst experience, but they got it really, really.
Well, they missed out on this. They missed out on the social part of it, which is huge in high school. But also, I know a ton of seniors from last year that had no graduation, and that's just so strange. Like I would think you walk away from your high school experience as like, well, that didn't end.
Where's the closure? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend whose daughter is going to Italy for college. And she's like, we never had that senior year.
Yeah.
She did it online like everybody else. But I know that they will all do great because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Just keep on pushing forward and being our best, doing our best. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to add before I let you go?
No, I mean, I think I've told you all I can think of. It's certainly been an interesting path in real estate, but I'm happy I chose that because I can kind of work at my own pace. And if one week I need to work 80 hours and the next week I need to work 20, I can do that and get away with it, basically.
That's the good part about our business, that we could
Yeah.
definitely control our schedule. Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about you, a little bit about your real estate knowledge, and a little bit about Reno. For those of you listening, this is Dave Johnson with Sierra Sotheby's International Realty. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Join me next week for another episode of Coast to Coast Real Estate, where we will travel to, I'm thinking, wine country. How does that
Ooh,
sound, Dave?
well, that sounds nice. I love it there.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you later, Jacqueline.